Do I need to forgive? If so, why and how do I do it? That's the topic that we're going to address today on Flourish-Meant. I'm your host, Tina Yeager, and today I'm proud to introduce you to an amazing man of God. His name is Mark Goodman. He's actually a forgiveness coach, and it comes from his personal experience to tell you why and how you should forgive. He's a speaker and he's an author of a book called Forgiving a Good Man, and he runs a nonprofit entitled 70 times 7. And he's here to share his pathway to forgiveness with you and his mission in forgiveness. It's unique because it combines clinical psychology, theology, and real life experience. Welcome, Mark. I am delighted to share your message on Flourish-Meant today.
Thank you so very much. It's so good to be with you, Tina.
Can you please share with the audience where you discovered the need to forgive in your life and why you found that this was critical to healing and freedom in other areas that you needed healing?
The Lord bless me so much. I have an unusual forgiveness journey, which sent me down some really tough, dark places, and realized that I had a choice. I was carrying around a backpack of resentment, shame, blame. It caused a lot of problems in my life, a lot of problems with my relationships, and including my relationship with the Lord of separation. And I realized that if it's to be, I needed to do something about it. And I finally got tired of carrying around that backpack another day and realized that the path to forgiveness provides freedom, joy, and my life could flourish as a result of being willing to, and then understanding that it's not an easy path for some of us. It can be a long path for some of us, but it's a path well worth it to go down the path to forgiveness. And I've benefited as a result of it.
There may be people who are listening who say to themselves, well, I don't think I need to forgive anybody. The resentments that I have are well-deserved, and I can just hang out where I'm at and continue in bitterness. I don't feel like there's any freedom that I need. How do you recognize that you're really hurting and suffering from bitterness and unforgiveness in your life, and you do need to let those things go?
So much of it, it's just keep pushing it out, pushing down. And it's almost like trying to push a cork down into water. Somehow or another, it keeps popping up and it's showing its ways. And often it looks like triggers, especially we're coming off the holidays there. We're triggered with a family member when they show up, a phone call, a smell, a song, where that hurt comes right back up, and keep pushing it back down. Look, even in the Christian community, there's data that 25% of all Christians still have that one thing that they keep pushing down and can't quite forgive. And it could be a family member, somebody ripped you off in business, a spouse, but there are a lot of it. There's sexual abuse that trying to deny and put it away. 1 out of 4 women. Most people don't realize 1 out of 6 men. And then that shame of carrying that, wearing around that mask, that I can't talk about it, that I should be forgiving, and yet I still hold it back. So look, I think of it this way. What is that one thing that you don't necessarily share open about? That if I told everything about, this would come out. And is it holding you back? Is it hurting your relationships? If so, there's hope and opportunity to have that freedom.
So let's look at that first step of how to let go of a bitterness, because it's very difficult, especially when you're talking about deep hurts like sexual abuse history and betrayal from someone that you should have been able to trust, and betrayal by the church even. So talk about where people might be and how they can take that first step to beginning to let go. It's not a one and done thing, is it?
Good point, Tina. And thank you for asking that question. I really mean it. Is so many people want to jump right to the end, right? No, it is that first step. And it really comes down just to the desire. Do you want to? Often when I've been doing 8 years of forgiveness, I can't call it counseling, coaching, 8 years of coaching. And I always affirm that what happened to you, you should be angry, resentful, get it. I understand we're human beings. You got every right to. How's that working out for you? Are your shoulders getting tired? And if so, do you want it? And it always starts off desire. Any 12-step program starts off that way of just recognizing and saying, I want to, and have that desire to. and then having a fire into it that I want it badly enough that I'm willing to work down that path. That is huge. That is huge because it will reflect and change the entire path. And then it opens up and change your self-worth, your relationships. But it's that first step is the biggest step.
And a lot of people who are in those places where they're experiencing the discontent and the heaviness, their first thought is, but it's not my fault. I shouldn't have to be the one to do the forgiving.
That is correct. Look, and my personal journey, I grew up in a rough, abused childhood. And I ended up as a teenager escaping with it and ended up living on the streets and beaches of LA, literally eating out of dumpsters and soup lines. I have great memories of it because it was actually a step up. It was safer. It was better than what I had in my household in Detroit from a father who is not only emotionally abusive, but physically abusive. To my 3 older brothers, used to beat them till they were virtually unconscious. But he didn't stop there. My dad sexually abused his own boys. Now, did this man deserve to be forgiven? A lot of people would argue no. And my point is, whether he did or didn't deserve to be forgiven, I deserved it. And I'm the one that benefited from it. And I am the one that's reaping the rewards. I'm the one who's free and has joy in my life with a beautiful wife and a beautiful life and 6 gorgeous girls and 13 awesome grandkids. I had a choice, and I chose the path to forgiveness. Now, my other 3 brothers, I got to share this real quick, didn't fare so well. Almost like a modern day parable, they all handled it a different way. My oldest brother passed away a few years back, and he held on to it like so many people do. He refused. No, he didn't deserve to be forgiven. I'm holding on to this. And he died angry. My other brother put up walls of protection around him so he can't be hurt again, like so many people do, and becomes their own prison. He literally lives down in Florida, and I'm his only connection to the outside world. He has no friends and no other family he talks with, other than he's now schizophrenic and he's got some imaginary friends. And then my middle brother, one who led me to the Lord that I was closest with, he chose escape, drugs, alcohol, porn, you name it. He took the escape route till finally, a number of years back, he called me, and while on the phone call, took his own life. And he chose to do the ultimate escape. And here I am, I chose to forgive. Who benefited? So there's all these different paths that you can take when you've been hurt. Which choice do you want to take?
The word that you are using there, choice, is really important. I want to highlight that for a moment because you didn't feel like forgiving your father, did you?
Oh my goodness, no. Not in the slightest. I attended a conference where he said, if it's to be, it's up to me. Still Christian, right? We still leave it to the Lord. I get it, but it's still my choice. And my emotional, spiritual, financial, relational future is really my choice of which one I take, path that I want to take. And it starts with forgiving everything, including my parents. And it wasn't easy. It was really tough. Along that path is what I discovered is most people don't understand about forgiveness. So if you got just a moment, I'd love to share that with you. The biggest number one misunderstanding that people have. You ready, Tina? We were taught as young is that it's an exchange. Tina, go tell your sister you're sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, it's okay. And somehow or another in that exchange, we learned what forgiveness is, and it made everything okay. But really, were you really sorry? And really, was it okay? And was that forgiveness? So the number one misunderstanding people have is forgiveness is not an exchange. It is subject to nothing from the other side. I could forgive my dad without anything back from him. Anything. He didn't owe me an apology. He didn't need to make amends. Forgiveness is subject to nothing. Reconciliation, like reconciliation with the Lord, it takes both sides. I need to say, hey, I'm sorry, I did wrong. Please forgive me. Okay, I forgive you. Forgiveness is subject to nothing. I forgave my dad, subject to nothing from him. and I'm the one that got the reward because of it.
So forgiveness is not reconciliation. It is also not justification. They don't have to deserve it. Can you talk about that for a moment?
Sure, they don't have to deserve it. They don't have to be alive. They don't have to make amends. So many people are waiting for to even the scales. Let me put it not from a biblical point of view, but from a common sense point of view. Think about it this way. If I say my forgiveness is subject to they're paying me back, they're making amends, they're apologizing, they're repenting, fill in the blank, it's different for everybody. I'm saying, Tina, I'm going to give them the keys to the kingdom, to my freedom, my joy. I cannot be free until and I give them control of my freedom, my joy, my ability to flourish in life. How silly is it when you think about it that way? Or I can say, hey, I'm taking that back. My ability to flourish, to have joy and to have love and to be free is subject to nothing from them, nothing at all. Now, when I share about my dad, I got to tell you, at age 65, later in life, I got the phone call. My mom called and said, we have sobered up. We've quit drinking. We've turned our life over to God. And that same monster that should have gone to jail for the rest of his life, the things that he did to his boys, turned into one of the most wonderful, loving, godly men you ever met. The last 23 years of my dad's life. If you had met him, you would have called baloney on what happened to me, because there's no way this man equals that story, which is true, which is also part of the story. You're never too old. You've never done too much bad to find God's redemption, grace, and forgiveness. And we reconciled, and we had a wonderful time those last 23 years together. I love my dad. My dad taught me that nothing is unforgivable.
People want to get more of your forgiveness process, because it is a long process and journey, or get coaching from you to experience this freedom for themselves. How would they connect with you or get a copy of your book?
So, Forgiving a Good Man is the name of the book, Forgiving a Good Man. It is a play on my dad's last name, also the last name Goodman, but he became a good man. But it took me years and years about this path of forgiving a good man. And so it is a book about, if you want to learn how to forgive the unforgivable, this book is for you on Amazon. Our nonprofit is 70 times 7, so 70 times 7.org, 70x7.org. Been doing this for coaching for 8 years. Entire time have never charged for it, ever. We have donors that pay for everything. And this book, I'm excited to say, we're expanding. This book is now being made into a screenplay. And Lord willing, in the next couple of years, will be a feature film. The screenplay is supposed to be done this summer, and attach actors and directors. Will be a feature film in theaters. And we're expanding to reach a wider audience. I just got back from Tanzania. We're reaching out to Africa now and teaching them the path to forgiveness. There's so much need. And anybody's listening that knows what I'm talking about, what it feels like. I get it. I get it. Reach out to us, reach out to somebody else, reach out to Tina, reach out to a pastor. But there's joy, the freedom, and the ability to flourish.
I hope that all of you listening were encouraged to seek forgiveness and freedom for yourselves by contacting 70 times 7 and Mark Goodman at his site, and look forward to the app that's coming with them, as well as the screenplay. And of course, I also hope that you will come back for the next episode of Flourishment.